To my channel. So today I'm doing a makeup tutorial on this beautiful look today, where I am using the brand new Huda Beauty new Nude eyeshadow palette. So that is why this look is very pinky, mauvey, purpley, pinky pink. Miss Piggy's also repping in the house, and we've got the flowers and all out pink, pink, pink. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was really fun. I'm really happy with how it came out. It was actually the first time I was using this palette too. So there were a couple of times I was like, oh, was not expecting that. So following this video, I'll actually be doing the review, but you will probably see the review on this palette first because it's just quicker for me to edit. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'm using a mostly Huda Beauty products on my face just so I can keep with the theme of using palette, etc. So anyway, so I hope you guys enjoy the video. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye. Hello everybody. So first off, I'm priming my face using the NYX Cosmetics Honey Dew Me Up primer. I really like this primer as it's really refreshing on the face, and it keeps my makeup in place all day and doesn't make it slide around. It's a little bit gooey to put on, but I think that's just part of the fun of putting it on. Then once I've done that, I'm going to be using the new Nude eyeshadow palette from Huda Beauty, and I'm using the shade called Concealed, which is the concealer base, just to prep it and place it all over my eye. It may look like it's a little bit difficult when I'm applying it. It's because it was very cold where I was sitting, so the concealer base needed to be kind of warmed up a bit using my own skin temperature, which it eventually did, thank God for that. Then I'm moving on to using Huda Beauty's Faux Filter foundation. My shade is in Baklava. This is a really full coverage foundation, so you only really need to apply one layer. I've got like a bit of texture as well as hyperpigmentation and scarring, so I maybe apply a little bit more than normal, but obviously it's down to personal preference. And I'm blending it all in using my Morphe M439 Deluxe buffer brush and just making sure that it's all blended out, followed with the Huda Beauty Overachiever concealer in the shade called Graham Cracker. This is what I apply first as it's very pigmented, but the colour is a little bit dark for the under eyes, so I follow that up using the MAC Studio Fix 24-hour concealer in the shade NC35. So when I mix those two, it really gives a nice brightening effect, and obviously the fact that both of them are very full coverage, really pigmented, so you can't see any darkness under my eyes whatsoever, which is what I love. This is obviously a very full-on, full coverage glam look we're going for today, when I might never. Once that's blended out, I'm using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake loose setting powder in the shade Blondie. I'm using a Real Techniques contour brush to heavily apply it to all the areas where you saw me put on the concealer, and then I'm going to be using it for 5 seconds exactly before I brush it all off. This stops the concealer coming off throughout the day, stops it creasing under the eyes. It looks fresh from upwards of 12 hours, so it's a really good little tip. And then I'm using the Sigma F30 large powder brush, and I am using that to set the foundation on my face. And then I'm going to be using the shade called Bear, and I am applying it all over the eyes using a Sigma E40 tapered blending brush. This is just to kind of neutralize the eye and to set any stickiness. Then I'm using the Summer Solstice palette, and the shade that I'm using for my brow bone is called, let me see, Malibu. I love this color. I hit pan on this at the end of this video, by the way. I was so impressed with myself. Anyway, I'm applying that to the brow bone, followed by the shade called Play, which is a nice peachy color. And I'm going backwards and forwards in the crease using a Morphe M330 blending crease brush. So this is a very soft kind of transitional shade sort of color, followed by the shade called Tickle, and I'm using exactly the same Morphe brush, and I am going slightly lower in the crease, blending it into that peach shade to create this really nice sort of ombre effect, followed by the shade called Spanked, and I am going directly into the crease using a Morphe M513 round blender brush, dragging it halfway in to create a slight smoky kind of effect. Blend, 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 as it's a purple color, so you've got to make sure you blend a little bit extra. followed by the shade called Love Bite, and I'm just going right into the outer V, and then I am dragging it partially into the lid so that I can create a kind of soft focus effect later on and that there are no harsh lines. This is another shade that requires a little bit extra blending because it is purple. So just go back with that same Morphe brush just to blend out the edges so that there are no harsh lines whatsoever. Now I'm using the Morphe M224 Oval Camouflage brush. Don't ask me what happened there, it kind of got stuck. And then I am creating a kind of a half cut crease. Like I said before, as the concealer was quite cold, so it was a little bit difficult for me to drag it onto the eyes. So I'm just tugging a little bit just to create that oval effect. Next I'm using a shade called Daydream, and I am applying it directly with my finger because it's foiled and it shows up much more intense when you don't use a brush. Then I'm using a tiny Morphe M213 smudger brush just to go directly into the crease area where my finger would not have fit, and it would have kind of gone all like haphazard and a bit like messy looking. And then I'm using the next shade called Fantasy, and I'm doing exactly the same thing on the other side of the eye, using my finger to go in heavily and really build up that pigment so it looks nice and intense. Then using that same tiny little smudger brush just to go into the crease to create that cut crease kind of effect, and then also blend between those two shades, going in with a little bit more because there's a little bit more is always good, you know. And then I'm using the shade called Love Bite yet again, and then I'm just smoking out the edges to get rid of any harsh lines. Next, the shade we're using is called Tease, and I'm applying it to the lower lash line using a Morphe M431 Precision Pencil Crease Brush. What a mouthful. And I am just blending that backwards and forwards. Then I'm using the shade called Crave, and I'm applying it to my tear duct using a MAC 219 pencil brush. I love this shade. I think it's like my favorite shade out of the entire palette, maybe, but it looks amazing on the tear duct. Now I'm using my Rimmel Scandalized Kohl Kajal in the shade Black to apply it to my waterline to open up my eyes slightly. And then I am using the glitter, which is called Infatuated, and I'm using that same little smudger brush just to dab it between the two shades right in the middle, so that there's a nice little popper sparkle right there, followed by my NYC liquid liner in Black. The glitter is very finely milled, so the liquid liner goes over it really smoothly, in case you were wondering, so I love it. Next I am going to be using my Rimmel the multiplier, or not Rimmel, Revlon even multiplier mascara to prep my eyelashes before I get my brand new ones ready. These are brand new, I'd only just opened them for the video, in the style called Sasha by Huda Beauty. This is how I measure up where I'm going to snip my lashes so that they fit. So as you can see, I'm holding them just in place, and then a little bit off the edge, use a pair of scissors, cut it off, apply your glue, wait for it to dry slightly before I use my Primark, my lash applicators and my tweezer and tweezer just to put them in place so that they look gorgeous and fluttery. Then I'm using the Push Up Angel Mascara by Maybelline for my lower lash line, as I always do. And that's it, the eyes are done. Now let's move on to the face. I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Shapeshifter Contour Palette. My shade is in light medium shift, and I'm using the Morphe Contour Blush Brush, the M405, to create some dimension to my face. And it's a cool tone shade I'm using because the eyes are very cool toned as well. And I'm using it to contour my nose as well, so that everything looks a little less flat because of the foundation, which made my skin all one color. And then I am using the Morphe M459 flat contour brush, and I'm using the same Huda Beauty loose setting powder to tidy up the contour so that everything looks sharp, because as again this is a full glam look, so everything has to look sharp. And then I'm using the same Real Techniques contour brush to brush it all off, so now it looks all nice and my face looks a lot more aligned, a little bit more sharp. Followed by the Sleek blush in the shade called Flushed, which is a beautiful kind of raspberry shade, and I'm using a Royal & Langnickel blush brush to apply it to the backs of my cheeks. Then I'm using the same shade from the Huda Beauty highlighting palette, applying it to my cheekbones using a Morphe M310 large fan brush to highlight the high points of my face, including my cheekbones, as well as my nose, the bridge of my nose, to create a little bit more of a contoured nose look. and then the Cupid's bow to make your lips look a little bit fuller. Then I'm using the lip contour by Huda Beauty in the shade called Trophy Wife. This is like my favorite pink shade. Apologies if you can hear noises. It's blooming bonfire night tomorrow, and there is Diwali as well, so there's like fireworks going off outside my house. Then I'm using Trophy Wife liquid lipstick again to match the lip liner. Such a pretty mauvey pink shade. I love it. And then that's it. You are complete. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.